messy.
Jerome Corsi, I'm here now. Thank you. How's everybody? I had a couple issues here to resolve, and I'm here now. And let's see if we can drop a something in live stream. I'll post on the Twitter that we're on. I need a link to the live stream. And I was up late in the middle of the night answering with Q's posts. Don't know if any of you saw it or whether they were posted last night.
Yeah, some of us were up last night.
And I was particularly, is someone posting the link for the live chat? Here we go. Okay, it's just coming in now, I think. Hold on. Let's get it here. There we go. Good.
I was posting as well, so.
Yeah, I'm just going to get it up there on the, do we need to start or re-index or anything?
We just did, actually, just before you came on, so his timing is perfect.
Great. Okay, just give me a second here.
Oh. Doc?
Yes.
I need some guidance this morning, man. My character judgment on Snowden is getting worse and worse, Bob.
Well, his parents are patriots. I mean, I don't know.
Exactly, and that's what I was thinking. This is my theory. Go ahead and do what you're doing.
Well, we just get this. This is Friday. That's March, what is today, 9th? 8th? What is today?
Friday the 9th.
9th, yeah, Friday the 9th. Okay. And the time now is, what, 10:30? Yeah, 10:30. Okay, just about finished here.
Good morning, Dr. Corsi.
Hey, good morning.
It's Stumper.
Hey, Stumper. And we've got to get, we'll do that offline. I want to get some ways to be able to text you guys in terms of when I'm coming on and when I'm not going to be on and the like.
Okay.
So that we have some direct communication on all of these issues. So, you know, I want to be able to transition with you guys into the new management of the board, which you guys are going to take over, as I understand.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Well, I think that's great. Congratulations, Thumper and Cosmic. We need to just be able to get in touch so we can go back and forth on instant messages. And,
that'd be great. And yeah, it was funny because Cosmic and I we were just having a little meeting on the voice chat over there. And I was looking at the live stream and it said, "Hi, Dr. Corsi. Hi, Dr. Corsi. Hi, Dr. Corsi."
And I'm not there yet. I'm not quite there yet. I got delayed a little bit this morning. It was I'm heading into New York City to do some taping on the book, and so I had to get some logistics arranged. Okay.
Dr. Corsi.
Yes.
I'm relatively new here, but I just want to let you know I'm a experienced data scientist, and I specialize in interactive data visualizations. So in your research, if you ever come across large spreadsheets or anything like that, and you need a visual representation or an easier way to query the information, please don't hesitate to ask me. I have amazing tools at my disposal.
He does.
And you are, what is your handle over here?
412 Anon. I'm going to drop a link in the live chat to some of the work I've done so far.
I've got a need right now, so we need to communicate. Drop me a message in the direct messages, and I'll pick it up and we'll get together. And I think also for that'd be a good idea. Also, for direct messages from a good way so we can establish contact. If Thumper and Cosmic, you both send me instant messages, I'll send you contact information from me and how to get a hold of me. And if you can do the same, I've got a real need right now. I see it right there. 412 Anon.
Yep, that's him. Yeah, he's done some awesome stuff.
Okay, well, let me give you
Cosmic here, yeah, as a plug for 412, I like data, but his stuff is otherworldly.
Well, that's good. I need otherworldly.
so what I sent you is a link to the resignation data analysis I did based on what we've been tracking. But if you click on my my profile name in the top corner, you can go and see some of the other stuff I've worked on too. Everything's interactive and everything is queryable. So if you click on a piece of a pie chart, it'll query the rest of the dashboard based on what's building that piece of the pie chart. It's really neat software.
Well, I just sent you my contact information. We'll get together. And I've got some needs immediately we can talk about either later today or tomorrow over the weekend. So you should see, if you go over to the live chat, over to the direct messages, you should see my contact information. Let me know you have it, and then we'll be in touch.
Yep, I got you. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, great. And let's make sure I posted that. Okay, we're all posted and ready to go. And Thumper and Cosmic, if you'll do the same in the direct messages, I'll give both of you guys what you need to get in touch with me. Okay? Last night we got a lot of posts. I mean, I was up at the very early last night. I woke up and was posting, and I posted 2 or 3. The one that impressed me the most, right when I was trying to drop some information, which I reposted again this morning, about things that went on yesterday. In particular, this AT&T urging Congress to pass the Internet Bill of Rights. I wrote that article on January 26th, reporting that AT&T had called for an Internet Bill of Rights. That was in that was posted on Infowars.com. And yesterday, when Qanon was talking about the Internet Bill of Rights, he said in this post number 884, March 8th, it was at 1859, he said, "You pushed the IBOR," and immediately POTUS began to comment, "Take action, social media. Play the game with us." I thought that was pretty much a direct acknowledgement that I think my article was probably the first on the Internet Bill of Rights, because I had advanced knowledge AT&T was going to do that. And I had the article prepared and went up right as AT&T was making the announcement. And so I think, again, that's kind of an acknowledgement, and it's been clear to me that Qanon has been fully supportive of this Internet Bill of Rights and pushing the idea very hard. And I'm sure you'll all agree. I mean, but I thought that was one of the acknowledgments. So does everybody see that? Okay, that was in my post. If you take a look at my Twitter posts recently, you'll find it over there.
Yeah.
Okay, we can repost that. I'm not sure how to grab a Twitter tweet and put it into the. Then another one I did was on Israel having a playbook for dealing with North Korea nukes. I mean, I don't think it was any coincidence that President Trump met with Bibi Netanyahu, and then following it had the announced the visit to North Korea. And I think that the cooperation with Israel is going to be extremely important. Also, then after North Korea, Iran is next. And I think that's part of the plan, and I'm quite confident that there's a developing working relationship with Israel and the United States at very high levels. And I think it's going to be particularly exciting as it develops. Then it was this Q post that came out. I was posting, for some reason, I'd woke up and I was still posting in about 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was at 1:48. The Q dropped this post 894, and I think the most accurate I'm finding the Q post today is in this qanon.pub. It switches around. Sometimes one of these is more reliable than the other. But I'm finding this is to be the most reliable for the Q post today. And I just posted that in Discord. And we'll get over to live chat in a minute, but I want to review this. At 2 o'clock in the morning, 1:48, Q commented on this graphic. It says, it's Trump. It looks like maybe at the inaugural, with Kevin McCarthy there by his right side, and he's pointing his left index finger right into Obama's chest. And he says, "When I'm done, it'll be like you were never even here." And that's, I think, clearly what President Trump is doing. In a year and a couple of months, he's pretty much reversed major portions of the Obama legacy. And then the response to that post, Q did the skull with the long teeth that was kind of what's his name, Kyle, the shooter, the sniper.
That's the logo from the Punisher comics book series.
Comic book series, and Kyle always used to wear that on his hats, as I recall. And QAnon says, when we're done, he'll claim Kenyan citizenship as a way to escape. Well, I took that to be kind of a nod, because, QAnon knows I've done all the work on the Obama birth certificate, and he dropped this when I was obviously in the middle of a whole series of posts. So I responded by posting, and maybe we can drop this one into the Discord as well, that look at the timestamps. I said, and basically I was posting again in this whole period of time, said, thank you, Sheriff Arpaio and Mike Zulu, for the Obama birth certificate that was dropped at the White House on April 27th, 2011. It was a computer forgery. What we've never seen is the original 1961 birth records. I said, Obama's a clown creation, CIA. Brennan was the handler. I referred to the Vernon Jarrett article in 1979 that said there was money from Saudi Arabia to educate African-American children in school who they thought could be president. And then I said Subud or FMD. The picture there is not Obama. That picture is Subud, who is the Indonesian. He created a cult of meditating. He was CIA MK Ultra. And he operated in Hawaii and Chicago, as well as Indonesia, two places Obama landed. And Loretta Fuddy, who was killed in that airplane crash off of Maui, I believe, was the head of the Hawaii Department of Health, who suppressed the release of any Obama birth certificate records, original records, and she died in that plane crash. She was a member of the Subud cult.
That guy could be family. Jeez, he looks like him, doesn't he?
Well, compare him to what, the Kenyan Barack Obama looks like, and I don't think there's any question that if physical features reflect genetics, I'm going with Subud, not with the African Barack Obama as the legitimate father, the biological father of Obama. Yeah. The other candidate, of course, is Frank Marshall Davis. I think it's just incredible. I'm sure many people who looked at it last night didn't realize that was Subud. It was, they thought it was just an early picture of Obama, perhaps, because it looks so remarkably similar.
Reminds me a lot of Juan Williams. That was my initial thought when I first looked at that picture.
Well, Juan Williams has certain characteristics similar, but
Yeah,
I think Ron Williams is, as I recall, Puerto Rican, isn't he?
Well, I don't have a clue. I never gave it much thought.
I've thought a lot about Subud because the Subud connection I think is pretty important. And I'm not sure Obama knows who his biological father is.
Funny.
I think there have been so many lies told about his past that I think, what we do know is all the evidence we've seen so far is fraudulent.
Yeah, I would agree there.
And so now we get into the posts, the deal, and people over here on, we're catching on to that on Twitter. And, basically I think we have a nod from QAnon that he's on to this whole birth certificate issue. Let's see what people are saying over here. Yes, Chris Kyle is the one who wore the hat with the skull. And the skull is people say it's the Kraft International Contractor emblem. I don't know where the origin of that logo is. I remember seeing it.
It's a Punisher comic book series, actually, Doc.
Someone else over here, Punisher comic book series.
Several different contractor groups and mercenary groups. A lot of it's pretty popular culture thing.
Yeah,
there are a lot of, you can buy patches online with the logo and stuff on it, so it's all over the place.
Yeah, and Vernon Jarrett was the father-in-law to Obama's advisor, Valerie Jarrett, who was born in Iran. And,
by the way, the chat saying that Juan Williams is Panamanian.
Panamanian. Okay, that makes sense. Panamanian, yeah. Well, the Indonesian resemblance to Barack Obama is pretty striking. And people are commenting over in the chat about the Dreams of My Real Father by Joel Gilbert. Kelly Clooney is saying that. I worked with Joel on that. That is the argument that Frank Marshall Davis is the biological father. And Joel has confirmed that for many years in Hawaii, Obama said that Frank Marshall Davis was his real father. And the resemblance there is pretty strong, too. This is just the kind of question. We really don't know much about Obama in terms of his origins and his life. I guess, and people are also saying, B.E. Atlee says Obama was never born. He was created in a lab.
Huh?
Barry Soetoro, on the other hand, Barry Soetoro, the stepfather in Indonesia. I mean, you talk about a complicated life history, and I'm confident that he was CIA created from the beginning. His whole life reads like a CIA legend. Navy SEALs use the Punisher logo. Yeah, I don't know where Obama was born. I really don't know.
He probably doesn't.
Yeah, no, I've said not the people. Jamie Deigel over here. I said the picture I posted last night with the Q post was that was the picture that is not Barack Obama. It is the Subud. But in the picture where Donald Trump is pointing his finger at Barack Obama, that's clearly Barack Obama. And I think that picture comes from the inaugural. Okay, let's see. He said,
also,
I wish my...
Real quick,
Yes.
They had kind of a Where's Waldo search after the Boston bombing. They were trying to find the bombers, place the backpack, and two
Yes.
people that they suspected of maybe pulling off a false flag were wearing this Punisher.
I saw that. Hold on a second. Hold on. Yeah, I'm on this internet.
Hang on. And Good Dog, when he does this, try to kind of mute him.
Yeah, I know. Is that okay? Okay. I will. Okay. I'd like to get this Pikachu here. Give a shout out on the chat. I wish my dad were alive to see them all go down. Seriously wish that. He was Green Beret, Airborne Sergeant Major. I'm proud of him.
Wow.
But sad he lost so many friends in Vietnam and North Korea. That's a great post.
Well, we're trying to get the country back. We're trying to make sure that he didn't go out in vain, man.
Amen. So, okay, those, I think, are some pretty significant things. I think we are seeing Donald Trump rearranging international relations without the impact of the State Department. All the State Department, Obama people over there who think they were running desks and were really important. I doubt if Trump cares what any of them think. They can all quit. It won't make any difference. I think there's 20,000 positions over there he hasn't filled, and the rest of them, I don't think he cares what they do. If they leave, I think he'd be very happy. The State Department, just close down the State Department. Right. It's always been filled with communists anyway.
Sad state of affairs, huh?
Well, I mean, it's a worthless. All these people graduate from Georgetown and they go over there with their, socialist and communist educations, and they think they can set U.S. foreign policy. Largely why it's been screwed up for the past 60 years.
Well, they invaded it. They got in there because then they used that to continue their march on our freedom.
If it wasn't a bunch of coincidental luck, then it almost like they had a very strategically planned out plot here.
Well, might close down Georgetown too. It's hard for me to even recognize it as a Catholic institution. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to pull a book here. Yeah, I knew William Peter Blatty very well, who passed away. He wrote the famous The Exorcist. He wrote the book and the movie Exorcist, and he was a good friend and follower of my work. And he was graduate of Georgetown. He was suing Georgetown for not being a Catholic institution. I supported him very strongly in doing that. Audromatic says, first edition copy of the Bridge, a biography by Remnick, shows an intro by Stanislav Lenov. It's interesting whether Lenov went back to Russia when Snowden got out. That's a very interesting question. Do I believe Barry Soetoro should be allowed to remain in our heritage of past presidents when, in fact, he was a counterfeit, revoke his perks and status? There's going to be a lot of questions about Barack Obama before we're done. When he's fully disclosed as a CIA asset and a completely fabricated personality, we find out where he was really born, if we can ever find that out. Probably short of DNA, it'll remain a mystery. Obama is, in my mind, a suspect for an illegitimate president and always has been. And, the left goes insane when you say that. You're immediately a racist. Of course, they can say whatever they want to about Donald Trump, and everything's okay with that. But then the left is completely intolerant and one-sided in their views, not interested in free speech, as we've pointed out. So at any rate, that's kind of a review of what happened in the middle of the night. And my time is going to be a little bit limited today because I'm going to have to probably by 11:30 quit in order to get downtown. I'm going to do some taping on TV for Newsmax on my book Killing the Deep State, which is coming out on about next week. So I'm probably going to get busier with that publicity. I want to do a couple things. I want to kind of do some of these in reverse. The last post we got from QAnon was today at 7 a.m. And he posted a lot last night about Snowden. In fact, the one before that, 899, which was at 6:37, one of the Anons said, true, but why then Snowden? Doesn't make sense. If they gave him the tool, Snowden isn't of value to the NSA other than a trophy. The tech lives outside of him, and Q claims that they own CIA at this point. It's unfolding that Snowden has something that no one else has access to. He's got fames for taking files and exposing, not someone who developed technology that no one else has. I mean, basically asking, the question of who is Snowden of value to? And Q comes back and says, what country does he really work for? Expand your thinking. Now, that's been the question that we've all been asking and trying to determine whether Snowden is a white hat or a black hat. And then in 900, which dropped at 7 a.m., Q said, look at his family, Snowden's family, look at their positions. Why are we giving him this much attention? Why are we still providing this much sensitive detail in a public, known forum? Everything has meaning. Now, first of all, Snowden's family, his grandfather was very prominent in the Coast Guard. His father was in the Coast Guard. His mother worked in the federal court system as his sister did. And Snowden wanted a career in federal government service. And he, tried to go into the Army Reserves and, for the U.S., for the Special Forces, but he broke both of his legs and really was in no condition. He was not physically able to make the grade. And that's when he went into the CIA. I mean, all that would seem to indicate that if you look at his family, you would certainly think he was a patriot and think that his heart was with the United States. Now, then let's get some discussion on that.
Well, just sitting here listening to you and thinking, could, Q said distractions and deceptions and all that. Is there a chance that this is a mission that he's on, and that he's a very elaborate distraction for all of this?
Well, it's very interesting. I mean, first of all, somebody's asking me, Missy Russell's asking about my book, Can I Autograph? Yes, I'll autograph any book anyone sends to me, and or send you a book plate. I'll try to find a book plate and send that to you. And, of course, I don't charge anything for that. I'm going to have to find a way to get out an address here, an email, where you can know how to send me these books. I'm going to have to set up a post office box or something where we can do it. But I've always had a practice of signing books that are sent to me and signing book plates and never charging for any of that. And I'll continue to do that here. We just have to figure out the mechanisms where I can get you the information to get me the book.
Okay, and I'll try to get a little team together to make that easier on you, Doc.
Yeah, that would be really helpful if we could get that figured out, okay?
You got it.
Okay, so, if this book is going to, I think we're going to have I'll be happy to autograph as many as people want autographed. There's no, I'll be delighted to do that. I never charge for autographs. Nothing, those are all my pleasure. This book, I think, is going to have an opportunity to be a real red pillar for the country. And I'm really wanting to get it out there so that we can have, the media that we need. If the book becomes a bestseller, gets positioned better on Fox and other stations in order to get the word out. And people over there are commenting down on the live chat. I'm seeing it, and thank you. Let's continue the discussion about Snowden. I mean, I'd like to hear from someone who still think he's a black hat and see how that's interpreted in relationship to are people saying sells signed copies at the InfoWars store? I'm not sure. We have to work that out. I may be able to get over there and get some book plates. Otherwise, I'd have to fly down to Texas and sign the ones that they will be selling the book. I was working that out this week.
How about at the March and April?
Very possibly. It just depends on how we can work the details on that out. We'll figure it out. The book is also on audio. Yes, there's also an audio version of the book. Yes.
There's live chat saying there's a new tweet. Does anybody have that tweet?
I just posted it in Discord.
Which one?
I'm confident. It really seems like Q is certainly listening to us. I mean, all these posts coming in at the same time, we're discussing things and answering questions that we're asking is very impressive to me. Does somebody post it in Discord?
Well, we have new Julian Assange tweets. We have new Snowden tweets. I'm not sure what they're referring to.
Referring to the Snowden tweets.
Okay, what is Snowden saying? Let's go take a look. Hold on. Let's go on Twitter.
Pass it up. Jump in.
At Snowden. Let's see what he's saying. He's saying, well, he's posted this before that he said, speak not because it's safe, but because it's right. So he's met somebody in person here.
Yeah, that's an old pin tweet.
And he said, I keep my word. Do you know who the person he met with was? It's in Arabic. O. An al-Jari. Does anyone know who this is?
I don't. Saudi possibly, but I'm not sure.
Don't know. Looks like he met with him in Russia. I don't read Arabic. Does look like a Saudi with the head, the headgear looks Saudi. Probably Saudi. Okay, is there another one? Let's see if there's another one.
Somebody's saying here he's retweeted his Brunswick group. Retweeted has Brunswick group in it. They represent CIA. Look at their website. That comes from Danny Clark in the chat.
Okay, what is the Brunswick group? What does that reference mean? What is he saying with that reference? Do we have that figured out yet?
Anybody got some sauce on that?
Maybe over on the HN may have something. They're saying also he's not. I don't see anything here that would indicate where he is. He's certainly posting actively again. Much more so than he had been before. But I don't see there's anything here which would indicate where he is. And let's see with Assange. If Assange is posting anything.
Yeah, he has one 25 minutes ago.
One 4 minutes ago. This is when the Russian spy may have been poisoned at home, he's saying. 4 hours ago, the future of cybersecurity live stream in Europe, he's going to participate in. The CIA Democrats, 27 minutes ago. An extraordinary number of former intelligence and military operatives, the CIA, Pentagon, National Security Council, and State Department are seeking nomination as Democratic candidates for Congress in the 2018 midterm elections. The potential influx of military intelligence personnel into the legislature has no precedent in U.S. history. If the Democrats capture a majority in the House on November 6th, as widely predicted, the candidates drawn from the military intelligence apparatus will comprise as many as half of the new Democratic members in Congress. They'll hold the balance of power in the lower chamber. Both push and pull are at work here. Democratic Party leaders are actively recruiting candidates with a military or intelligence benefit for competitive seats when there is the best chance of ousting an incumbent Republican or filling a vacancy, frequently clearing the field for a favorite star recruit. We have to keep an eye on that. I don't think the Democrats are going to gain very much in the midterm. I think it's being hyped in the media. blue wave, I think, is a hype.
Yep.
They're playing the same game they did with Hillary. Trying to tell everybody this is where we're going, and it went the other way. Unfortunately.
Well, they're trying to tell everybody it's a predetermined conclusion. You don't have to bother voting.
It's just a divisive tactic.
Yeah, and it discouraged people from voting. It took a Singaporean woman to pop the intellectually bankrupt virtue signaling of American men. This is I guess it's one of the accusations on the Me Too. I'm not into what that specific allegation is.
He's just he's poking a hole in the argument that every time a woman,
right?
Every time a woman accuses somebody, they automatically assume it's
1 second.
Real.
Who's calling, please? Yes, I'm on the internet. Who's calling?
It's the CIA.
Yeah, we'll have to talk later today, okay, or over the weekend. Okay. Look, let me see here. Okay, so there's nothing really new there, and I don't think we have any new Q posts from Q. Over on Drudge, Drudge is going to blow open the CBS sex turmoil. Washington Post is going to do that. And there's discussion of a Supreme Court vacancy for the summer. I'm pretty sure that must be Justice Kennedy going to step down. There's going to be a vacant, yes, Kennedy. I think Kennedy is going to retire too. I don't think he's going to stay for very much longer. And he's been a swing vote on the court, sometimes going with the liberals, sometimes with the conservatives, and I suspect we'll get a solid conservative nominated, at least by Donald Trump, to replace Kennedy, and that'll be the second one for Trump. So at any rate, if we continue this, why are we giving Snowden this much attention? Why are we providing this much sensitive detail in a public forum? Everything has a meaning. I think Q is continuing to suggest that at some point or other, Snowden will be picked up and brought back to the United States. And I continue to think his information is going to be of a white hat variety, right. Not a black hat variety. And that it's part of the... I posted that also last night. It's one of the ones I guess I got I was thinking about all this stuff and woke up in the middle of the night and just decided to put it all down. But I posted on Assange. Let me see if I can find it here. That he and Q is saying both Assange and Snowden are on the move. And what I think it means is that, they both have information which is going to be important in this end game. And I'm asking, when was Assange last seen in London? And how does Snowden get from Moscow to Hong Kong? The clowns want Snowden. But I say, Donald Trump has his own game plan. And I keep thinking it's the rook to A6, that in other words, these are the guys who have intelligence information, and as Trump plays out this counterattack, their information is going to be very important to Trump in exposing this deep state. And Snowden's or Assange's warning about the number of intelligence people the Democrats are recruiting, the Democrats have packed the intelligence agencies with leftists, Muslim Brotherhood supporters and leftists. And I'm sure they want it out right now. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Dr. Corsi. Yeah, I was thinking. You were talking, giving kind of a background on Snowden and how he was wanting to be, Special Forces SEAL or one of those, and he ran into physical difficulties and wasn't able to complete. But how well is that documented? I mean, if they wanted to set somebody up to play this game, to go, out and provide the distraction that he obviously is, whether valid or not. I'm just thinking that, the complexity of this whole scenario we've seen as Trump and the White Hats have started this drain the swamp campaign. Well thought out, lots of moves were planned years ago. And he, obviously, we were led to believe he really wanted to serve our country, and he wanted to be, he wanted to be a patriot. Could he have been groomed for this for a very, very long time, in relative terms? Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think it's possible. I mean, but knowing what I know about Snowden, I mean, again, I'm not sure how much of it is disinformation, but he really wanted. Maybe there's a lot of it, but I mean, again, it's it's white hat, black hat argument, and you can interpret a lot of issues in Snowden either way.
Yeah. I want to get one of the people who think he's a black hat, one of their interpretations of, like, what is all this saying?
Well, that's kind of one of the black hat interpretations, is that he really wasn't Special Forces. He was recruited NSA, and he was a black hat. I think at some point or other,
I don't get that feeling. I don't get that feeling at all. I never have. I've always kind of looked at the guy as a patriot, for one reason or another. That's just my gut feeling.
Well,
go ahead, please.
That may be the reason why everybody feels that way, because I felt that way in the beginning too. However, if this is what's taking place right now, why doesn't Snowden just turn himself in with these guys? And why are we playing this cat and mouse game if he knows these guys are trying to help him? And don't tell me that he ain't reading these forums, and don't tell me Q ain't giving him, or the military intelligence hasn't given him the opportunity to walk out. I know they have. So why isn't he?
That's the strange part to me. I think the Black Hats would have had numerous opportunities to take him out. And, he's being protected because he has a job to still do. He is, I mean, just look at it. I certain things just don't quite add up for me.
Well, if Q has all these pictures of where Snowden is, it's clear that U.S. can pick him up anytime we want. I mean, if they know where he is, they can go get him. Nobody's going to stop an extraction effort by the United States, although probably there should be some extradition issues that could come up. I just don't know how strongly China would protect Snowden. Basically they may want him under surveillance for a while. They may want to see who he's connecting with and what he's, exactly doing. If they haven't picked him up yet, it's because they don't want him yet. And I don't know why they don't want him yet. They may want him later. It's the same thing with Assange. These things are taking a little bit of time to play out, but nobody's seen Assange in London, and the Ecuadorian embassy has quit complaining that he's there. So things have changed, and I'm not sure exactly how or why. Go ahead.
I just wanted to bring up, I think we have found a possible connection between him and the United Kingdom. Let's see. Yeah, the post 898, at the end they ask, Q asked, which country does he really work for? There is another post, if you go down to 836, we had someone in live chat yesterday mention that if this seems kind of a cryptic post, but if you read it with the mindset that it is a list of the missions that Snowden was tasked with, and it lists mission 1, infiltrate, mission 2, centralize, mission 3, secure, mission 4, exposed to harm, mission 5, Russia link, then mission 6 says fiddler with an arrow, and then ghost hyphen prime. So we found also earlier in this post, there's an OP colon fiddler. And if we think that means operative name fiddler, which would suggest that that's a code name for Snowden. If we go back to this mission 6, fiddler arrow pointing to ghost prime, then we found a article that I'll post here.
And the other thing I'd like to just pop in here, Dr. Corsi, is, one of the things you always try to do is follow the money. All of this running, all of this moving around, obviously, it has to take, funding. Where's that coming from? Where's this money coming from?
Could I please finish this thought, because this is important?
Sure, go ahead.
Go.
This article here, the Ghost Prime was kind of cryptic to me, but they were talking about Prime Minister Theresa May, calling her Ghost Prime Minister back after Brexit. And there was a period there where, she just was handed the office. And later, I guess they confirmed her in a special election.
Well, Fiddler is a software piece that Assange exposed. And it basically allows you to go in. Let me see if I can find the Fiddler software. We had this when we decoded that one. Fiddler is a tool that, let me find it here. Fiddler, it's a debugging tool that is used, allows you to go into a website and kind of create an open portal where you can plant information and withdraw information. And it is was exposed by Assange as one of the tools used by the CIA in their whole, one of the vaults, and all the hacking and other cybersecurity that was done. There I just posted it. It's made by Telerik, is the company Telerik, and the Fiddler is a debugging tool that logs all HTTPS traffic between your computer and the internet, inspect traffic, set breakpoints, fiddle with incoming or outgoing data. It's an important cybersecurity hacking tool. And the Ghost project is also a CIA project. Let me find that for a second quickly. So these are both specific references to well-known this Ghost Prime. These are references to well-known CIA tools and NSA tools. And Snowden was working on the Prime system. I have to find this one here. NSA plot. I found it once before, and it takes a little bit of doing to find it, but it is an NSA tool, and there is a whole Prime system Ghost. I don't want to get too side. I don't think I have enough time to really get back and find it, but if you look, you'll find that this is a part of the Prime system, and Snowden probably worked on it Snowden functioned as a ghost user into the prime system. Now that 230, that may refer to Snowden, very possibly to Snowden, but I'm not sure. This was one of the, because see, who leaked Vault 7 to WikiLeaks? We kind of think that might have been Snowden who did that. And it was at Snowden, operative named Fiddler. Fiddler was the tool they used to leak a lot of that data out of that vault. And this could have been a mission from Snowden. I don't rule it out.
Yeah,
but again, it would mean that Snowden was really playing a white hat role, in a sense, if in fact that's the correct. In other words, the CIA sent Snowden over to the NSA to discredit the NSA so that they could expose the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs being prominent. The CIA's system wanted to shut down the NSA system. We don't need a duplicative system. The CIA duplicated what the NSA has within this Snow White and Seven Dwarfs computer system, and they're fighting each other as to which one gets to survive. We don't really need two such systems. Go ahead.
I was just going to apologize. Based on what you just said, it sounds like I drug us off track.
No, that's all right. I mean, it's all part of decoding Snowden. And Snowden is going to be very, very difficult to figure out. 898, why would Snowden go public in Hong Kong prior to traveling to his final destination? Well, again, who Snowden's connecting with, and we don't know who Snowden's connecting with, is important. Bella Luna says, think family, Coast Guard in charge of all port security. Think border crossing China. Q asked why allowed to cross borders so easily. Again, I don't know what the, it's an interesting, issue. And people are also saying, referring to Snowden as a gray hat. Hey, Jerry? Hold on. Yeah. You know there's a car in the driveway waiting for you, right? Yeah, 11:30, Andrew. I'm leaving at 11:30. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so let's just continue because my time is going to be running.
You're fine.
Take this car and go downtown to New York for the filming on the book. I don't think we're going to figure out all of this, but this looking at his family, what country does he work for? I'm assuming that he's making contacts in Hong Kong, and that it's okay with at least U.S. military intelligence. Remember, Q is U.S. military intelligence, which is not the same as CIA clowns. And military intelligence knows where Snowden is. They've got him down to the apartment he's in, and probably are monitoring his activity. And they're so far okay to let him keep doing it for a while. Now, whether somebody was exchanged to get him there or what, I can't imagine he was there without our approval, because I think Russia, would just not let him go, or he wouldn't leave if he thought he was going to be apprehended. So there's some back channel going on here. We just don't really know what it is. Now, these next couple are very important as well in the debates we've been having and the issues we've been raising, because 895 talked about Jack Dempsey with Periscope and how Twitter is going to be able to give these coveted blue tick verification marks. I've got 110,000 followers on Twitter. What do you think the chances are I'm going to get a blue verification mark? Zipola. Because, they're the lefties over in the Twitter, and as O'Keefe exposed, are just as, ravenous, intolerant as the equal, lefties in Google, YouTube. And this Periscope thing opening up, well, he basically, Q says, hidden message, Jack. POTUS delete install. remember they deleted that POTUS message just to, you know, one of them was just gone for a while. A coded message except by LDR, HRC, others. Who would be LDR? Did anybody figure that out?
Linda Rothschild.
Linda Rothschild.
Could have sworn it was Larry Robinson.
I wonder what the coded message was. Allowing Snowden access, censorship, tracking, plus sharing cells C9/all. Does anyone know what that meant? Trace upload, the tone recognizes other devices with active GEO, all signals device. Don't drop the soap. It basically is saying that I think that, you know, the way Twitter is set up, it's monitoring the communications and does censor and track. And Snowden may be onto that. He may have tracked that down. But it uploads the tone that recognizes other devices with active geo. I'm sure that they're, you know, collecting a lot of information on all these sites, including Twitter. They've been Q and Ajit Pai have been particularly critical of Twitter, and so was James O'Keefe, and it's the one that Trump uses the most. I think without realizing how much he was, you know, disadvantaged in the search engines and disadvantaged when listing others who have retweeted him and the like. But clearly, what Q is saying here is, you know, that for us all using Twitter, it's a great tool, but don't think all the information isn't going right over to the clowns. I mean, I think this is part of the problem, is that all these internet tools, social media, have been so penetrated by the CIA that, you know, they become CIA data collection mechanisms. And it's going right into the NSA, I believe, as well, into the NSA PRISM system, profiling us. And I'm sure if we could find out how many CIA operatives were working in these campuses of all these large internet conglomerates, you know, the monopolies, I think we'd find extensive penetration by the intelligence operatives within social media. And this anonymous asks, are we going to have more freedom of speech on private public speech services or not? Please answer this question. And Q comes back saying 100% regulated. Some platforms will collapse under their own weight of illegal activities. And that kind of confirms what I'm saying, is that, you know, Q and Trump are going to impose, they're going to get an Internet Bill of Rights, whether it's done by Congress or whether it's done by the FTC. The FTC is going to be the regulator of choice, and it's going to break up these large conglomerates on the basis of doing activity to restrict markets. You know, but they're using their monopoly power to restrict markets, keeping out certain people while using broadband facilities which are provided by the government. So they're not going to be treated as Soros wanted, as under the, you know, Title II of the Communications Act and the FCC, where they'd be looked at as private entities who could do what they want. That argument's dead. And whether Eric Schmidt realizes or not, doesn't entirely understand that ES in some of these posts refers to Snowden, and some of these posts refers to him, and that the ones were, you know, about his assets and why he quit after Trump quit Alphabet after Trump signed that executive order in 12/12. I continue to say, if I were Eric Schmidt, I'd get lawyers and I'd be worried about my assets. Because when Trump is coming after this, and as we saw earlier when, you know, Q was saying that we posted on the Internet Bill of Rights and that POTUS heard that, and picked up on it, that 884, no deals, we work with you, we listen to you, you pushed the IBOR, and immediately POTUS began to comment, take action, raise social media. I think, we're being listened to on all of the, I think they made a bad mistake canceling my Google account. And I did everything I could to let Eric Schmidt and the whole group of them, anybody thinks Eric Schmidt's not, he's still on the board, he's still making $100 million a year. As far as I'm concerned, he's still running the company. As far as I'm concerned, pick the back alley, we'll duke it out. Or let's duke it out in federal district court or in Congress or in the FTC. But I think Donald Trump has targeted these social media Soros-funded Democratic Party, CIA clown infiltrated, am I making myself clear? Social media giants, and their day is done. And there's going to be some of them that go under, and there's going to be some of them that are given new operating rules, and the leftist communists that are currently working in them might not be as happy with the new regime coming in. And that's just sad. But, I'd recommend that they each buy themselves a copy of the Constitution and read it and make sure it has appended to it the Bill of Rights. Maybe they could get a civics course instead of studying all the social history courses they've been taking.
Communist Manifesto.
Yeah, well, that's always I always recommended the Communist Manifesto should be read by high school students, and in order to show them that there's nothing in the Communist Manifesto that Plato didn't create in the debate on the Republic, with Socrates arguing what's the best state. They rejected the Communist Manifesto alternative because it didn't work. And then it failed. It had no chance of success. People weren't going to be motivated by common property owned by the state any more than you could put a hole in the middle of a boat because you thought it was attractive and expect the boat to sail. Plato made the point some of these ideas just don't work.
Right.
And if you don't believe that, read the Gorgias. That makes the point even clearer. Plato's dialogue, the Gorgias. At any rate, what I think these posts are saying is that Snowden and I think Assange are going to play a major role. And I think they're being very closely watched. I think they're both on the move. And Trump will reel them in when he wants them back here. It may not be convenient to have them back here today. But below the surface, I think one of the reasons my account was restored, one of the reasons that Google and the others overplayed their hand, thinking they could get away with it as private companies, was they didn't realize the extent to which Donald Trump was going to get the message. Like I'd say the day my account was canceled, we made sure Donald Trump knew about it. And the next day it was restored. And I doubt that that's coincidental.
No, I don't think it's coincidental either. I do have something to ask you, Dr. Corsi.
Yep, sure.
Okay, we've been going on this. I thought Snowden was a hero when he released all this stuff, letting the American people know this. And then after doing the background and stuff, I would go to find all this stuff out that led me to where 90% he was a black hat. Now, on this last post that Q posted, Q900, look at his family, look at their positions. Why are we giving him this much attention? Why are we providing this much sensitive detail in a public bracket known forum? Everything has meaning. That bracketed known forum, could they be telling Snowden, we've got your family and the things that you cherish under control?
It'd have to be that, or be Q is desperately trying to scream at me and Corsi that we need to think Snowden's a bad guy. Because other than that, I just don't see why he keeps bringing him up.
He's bringing him up because he's going to be He's going to be. I've got to go. They're texting me to get in the car and go. Look, Snowden's going to play an important role in all of this, one way or the other, and military intelligence is working with Snowden. If military intelligence wanted Snowden arrested and brought before a tribunal, he'd already be in handcuffs.
2012, right?
You know, they don't have any hesitation to pick somebody up if they want them, any more than the FBI has a hesitation to knock on your door in the middle of the night and wake you up. If they want you, they'll do it. And I think we've got to assume that Assange and Snowden are neither one of them apprehended by U.S. law enforcement because Donald Trump doesn't want them apprehended. There's plenty of other people, from Pompeo to Sessions to others, who would be happy to arrest Assange. And if a Holder were there, you can guarantee it that Assange and Snowden would be apprehended. They probably wouldn't have moved. I'm basically going to bet on that both of these are playing a role in Donald Trump's game and his plan for how he wants to unfold all this. And it's just not yet time for them to show up on stage. But they are being watched, and they're going to play an important role. And I just think we have to keep it in mind that we don't know enough yet to fully resolve the issue. But I've always leaned towards seeing Snowden as a white hat. Okay, I've got to go. I'll catch up with you a little bit later on. God bless everybody, and we'll catch up with you when I can later today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Corsi. Appreciate it.